I didn't treat it like a normal 9 to 5. I didn't treat it like you have to clock in and clock out at a certain time, or I'm counting the minutes on my clock. When I'm in, I am in. I don't look at the clock. I don't look at the sun. The sun does what the sun does, but I have to do what I have to do. When I'm really in this 7 days a week, like my mind is always racing about what's next, what's next. And I became a fanatic.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan Hodge here, broker of record and owner at the Realty Firm, and I am thrilled to bring you another episode of the No Secret Agent podcast, brought to you by and powered by the Realty Firm, where we're showcasing some of our members who have had great success, who bring great energy to the table, who contribute to their clients, their audience, and the industry on the whole in a generous and abundant fashion. And today, I'm really excited to speak with Rishi Patpatia, who has been a cherished member of our company, who's always getting involved, and who's had a great trajectory inside of his real estate career. So Rishi, welcome.
Thank you, Ryan, for having me here. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, it's an honor. And as you always say, it's a beautiful today. Beautiful today. Life is beautiful. And here we are once again.
Yes, here we are. And I'm very happy to sit with you and to talk about real estate.
Awesome. Well, let's do that. Take us through, and, for those of you that don't know you, take us through your background as far as, who you are, how you got into real estate, a little bit about, your background, and, we can kind of take it from there.
For sure. So it's very nice to be sitting here today. But for those of you guys who don't know me, I was born in a small town called Woodstock, Ontario. It's about an hour away from London. And I've been in London ever since. I haven't left London. And I really had a passion, I'd say, or more of an awakening when I was 23 years old. I acquired my first property. And even though I did my undergrad in an honors spec in biology, I did a 180 switch into real estate. And since that day, I never looked back. And it has taught me so many things, not about my life, but personally about family, that I've been able to pass this on to my clients down the road to talk about the power of investing into real estate and how that has paid dividends along the road. So my journey started at that age, but I didn't get licensed until about 5 to 6 years afterwards. So I realized that when I acquired my first property, that wow, there is potential to grow here, and there is an ability to have a different way of life that I somewhat wasn't accustomed to before.
Mm.
And this journey into real estate investing, it took some time. And where I am today, it speaks to where I came from before. So I really take importance in this journey of real estate is to understand the fundamentals of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and our exit plan at the end of the day. I know that we call this a vessel, and I think that we're on a beautiful vessel to take us to where we need to go in life. And real estate is a big part of that journey.
I love it, man. I always say, real estate is not our life's purpose, but it's a great vehicle or vessel to serve that purpose. So you just identified that really well. And I recall when you came into, our organization, the Realty Firm, you were doing all sorts of different investment and commercial, projects with gas stations and, things outside of market. Can you kind of take us through like a little bit in terms of the type of investments or commercial dealings that you do? I know that you work in residential, big time as
For
well,
sure.
but I think the audience would really benefit from learning a little bit about that commercial side today too.
For sure. So the commercial sector is a different beast,
Mm.
but it's something that I thoroughly enjoy. It's something that I've been around my entire life, whether it's dealing with multifamily properties or commercial properties like plazas or gas stations. In my 20s, I had the experience of working with larger oil companies like Suncor, Petro-Canada, and Shell, and being able to acquire land and build upon that land um, and then to be able to flip it down the road. And that, I think, on a bigger level, on a commercial level, is something that um, is overlooked.
Hmm.
We we all talk about people to flip a house or to or to flip an investment property or a student rental, but to go into the commercial sector, to acquire the land, to acquire the developers, architects, dealing with the city, and then dealing with just being your own GC of hiring the right trades, making sure that the job is done correctly. That was a whole nother experience that I bring to the table. And for my clients, even in the residential sector, it kind of pours one into another. And I operated in a few sites in Woodstock, in Windsor, and around southwestern Ontario. And we were able to not only increase profits over time, but our investors at that time were very pleased with the results that we brought to the table. And it's all done through a series of, I would say, systematic um, ways of approaching a project.
Mm.
Whether a project is a $500,000 project or a $10 million project, you would still go through the numbers the same way.
Hmm.
You would do your due diligence, and you would want to make sure that the bottom line is always being met. But with larger projects, you have to have a bit more wiggle room. And this is what has taught me in real estate is you have to be patient. People expect things to happen like this. And as much as we want things to happen from zero to 100 right away, it doesn't always happen like that.
Sure. Sure. It's funny that you say that. I was actually in my mind, I was just thinking, Rishi, he's got way more patience for these kind of projects than I ever did. I'm more of a, strictly residential in my own real estate sales path, and happy to refer to guys like you who have the patience to deal with these big projects. But I think that, what it lends insight to as well as, that old saying that, I use, attach to the process and detach from the outcome. In other words, focus on the activity, not the result. So, I know that you've done, commercial. I also know
Yeah,
that you have some great experience with out of country investment as well.
correct. Yeah.
Airbnb, things like that. Can you share a little bit on that?
Yeah. So I find that in investing into real estate, whether it's within your own local market or tertiary markets around you or even abroad, if there's a good deal, scoop it up.
Mm.
Okay. And this goes back to running your numbers and trusting the process. And in Florida, there was a lucrative investment opportunity close to Disney World. And as you know, people love going to Disney. And it gave us an opportunity here and me an opportunity to not only start a vacation rental property before before Airbnb even existed, we were using a website called VRBO,
Hmm.
Vacation Rental by Owner. And investing in these different markets has taught us that your returns can come back, but once again, nothing happens in a day. It takes some time to build out on it. And dealing with a vacation rental property, there's different hurdles as well, because you're now acting as a hotel manager per se. You're
Hmm.
not a realtor, you're not a businessman, you're not an entrepreneur, you're now servicing people's needs on a day in, day out basis. And that allowed me to branch out a bit further, expand my team, and get some more help in those areas as well, to making sure that when I'm focused on my projects here locally in London, I still have a great team to help support me for my investments abroad.
Sure, sure. And I assume that you can take this and transfer it to your clients who look to create other opportunities much the same.
For sure. So I view real estate as an asset, and as an asset management, how do we want to protect our assets long term?
Hmm.
Whether your assets are sitting in California or they're in Florida or they're in London, Ontario, what can we do to just to make sure that that this is profitable for you at the end of the day, but it's also easy to manage. And I really guide my clients through a step-by-step process on how they can invest their money. I show them proven results and a track record of my clients and even myself. I fully open up my playbook. I show them the numbers and I walk them through the process from A to Z.
I love it. I love it. And I think it's so important. I'm big on, well, I talk about it in the coaching and training space a lot, right? That there's a lot of people that are, very theory based. They're not results based. So I'll share this. I would never look to, teach or, support people in commercial real estate. I'd bring somebody in that has some results in it. And I think that that's exactly what you're doing. You've got the results that you can, share from a professional standpoint that are going to show people just how it's done, but you've got the results to back it, which I think is so crucial in this industry, because you've got a lot of theorists or people that are, talking without that experience. And I believe that what you're doing is definitely going to be beneficial. So, you've got this
Yeah.
wealth of real estate experience, investment experience before you even get licensed, as a realtor. Would you say that that has been, the number one catalyst to your quick success in the business? Or, take us through that, because most people don't have that kind of experience when they jump into being a licensed realtor.
For sure. And this is one of the things that led me to get my license is I was sitting a bit on the sidelines and I enjoyed to invest into real estate, but I wasn't doing it full time. As you know, I was doing more commercial real estate at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say a light bulb went off where I was able to get my license to actually acquire one of my own projects. And when I was acquiring one of my own projects, I had my friends and family kind of bug me a bit saying, "Oh, so you're acquiring one of your projects. How about one for us?" And this led me to be like, okay, it's not only for me. The wealth and the wisdom and the experience that I've gained, I'm more than happy to share it down the road.
Sure.
And when I'm going through this investing process, I always believe in practice what you preach. So when I was talking to my clients about my journey, I was telling them personally about every year how many homes I would buy, not how many I'd get for my clients or whatever, but how many am I purchasing,
Mm-hmm.
or how many of mine am I selling? And coming from this personal experience and translating it into real estate, and not only doing it 9 to 5, I've been doing it now 7 days a week. It's something that I truly enjoy, Ryan.
Mm.
It's something that I feel that it's not taught in the elementary schools or in high schools. We weren't really given a class in real estate. I went to high school here and the university, and it's not until you start doing your own research, start networking with the professionals around you, that's where you truly see the power of real estate. And that's where I feel like I'm standing here is because of real estate, and I'm so excited for the future of it as well.
I love it. And I won't get into the school system because I have plenty of teacher clients, but I do agree. There's a lot that, we aren't taught in school. Our kids aren't taught in school about finance, about entrepreneurship, about, investing in real estate that I think would be super beneficial. So flash forward, you've got all this investment experience, commercial experience. You bring forth that spirit of abundance and contribution to your client list, showing them, by your experience, how they can, reap the benefit of these assets, and real estate as an opportunity as well. How do you, move into the transition of residential, and do you enjoy that as much, or, is there a balance to it, or preferable now? You take us through
For
that.
sure. So the best part about this journey is at the realty firm, we're able to do residential, commercial, our own projects as well. And we have the ability and the support to handle it all too.
Mm.
So transferring to commercial to residential was very seamless at the realty firm, I found. I still do commercial as these projects take some time and the deals don't come together um within days. It sometimes takes weeks. But that has led me some time to open up my residential sector. And being in London, I'm so blessed and fortunate to be connected to so many wonderful individuals. And I've been able to grow my business through referrals.
Mm.
And this is how I have grown my business here is to help my friends and family or those that have heard of me through the grapevine that need some help. I'm always here for them. So in terms of residential real estate, I work with first-time home buyers. I work with seasoned clients as well who want to offload their third or fourth property, or even if it's someone who wants to downsize from a larger home to a smaller home, I'm able to come in there and to lend my experience on the renovating, on the construction side as well, and to make sure that their investment is profitable down the road.
Love it. And as you do that, what I've noticed is you're very big in terms of your social media presence, sharing through Instagram, through Facebook, through the multiple platforms, doing it in a highly sophisticated manner. I often observe that you'll share some great real estate information from overseas or in the U.S. and bring that forward into your audience. But take us through, what is the 519 Realtor, and take us through that a
Yes.
little bit.
Yeah. So I've dubbed myself as a 519 realtor,
Mm-hmm.
and my social media and my marketing online is a piece to what I am, and it's actually the foundation of this real estate business. Is I'm fortunate to have created this handle 519 Realtor, and I'm able to not only connect with individuals here, but I'm connected to realtors across the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I'm in Toronto or I'm connecting to an agent in California or even in Tennessee, I try to bring what's happening in their industries to our local market as well, because I find that we can't be so insulated all the time. The world is a very big place, Ryan. And being here in London, but having the connections with these other great individuals has helped me develop my business and myself over time to give more back to my clients.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really keen on advancing my strategies and my systems down the road, but not only on that, but I'd also want to for people to know that when they come to me, I'm a local Londoner, born and raised in the 519 area. And this is what I do. I know the streets. I know what's happened on those streets. Some people have sent me a house. Rishi, what about this house? I'm like, the house is great, but did you know a drug bust happened next door?
Right.
And that's something that's not always on the MLS.
No.
That is something that you won't see there, or it won't be always disclosed unless you have active knowledge of the area. So there's often times where I'm help guiding my clients through this process of where's a good location. Because as
Mm-hmm.
we know in real estate, it's all about location, 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 location.
Mm-hmm.
And being in the 519, we have some great areas here, some wonderful family-friendly neighborhoods and subdivisions. And I'm really happy when a client comes to me and is like, Rishi, I need some advice. Where do you think is a good place to be?
Sure.
And I'm just all over it.
You are. And I would say that, my observation of you, and, it's privileged to ride along with what you've done, is that, when you get all over something, you go all in. And I can't say that about everybody. You can't make people productive. I've learned that along the way, both, operating a sales team, operating a large office. We've got a highly productive office, but Not everybody comes out of the gates like you have, and I know that you've been very committed to, different forms of training, accountability, your own personal development. What do you think the difference is for, a new agent or maybe even an agent that's got some experience that's struggling and continues to struggle versus somebody that just comes, right into real estate and has this tremendous success right away and an ongoing upward trajectory that, most would only hope to accomplish, in their careers.
Well, thank you, Ryan. I do appreciate all of that. I don't think I have all the answers, but
Sure.
I can definitely guide you through the process of just what I've seen here. And in my career into real estate, I I didn't treat it like a normal 9 to 5. I didn't treat it like you have to clock in and clock out at a certain time, or I'm counting the minutes on my clock until I have to go. Um, when I'm in, I am in. I don't look at the clock. I don't look at the sun. The sun does what the sun does, but I have to do what I have to do.
Hmm.
Okay. So when I'm really in this 7 days a week, or just even on the days in which I do take off, my mind is always racing about what's next, what's next. And I became a fanatic. I became an absolute fanatic, from reading books to watching training videos to going on YouTube to attending conferences, networking events, going to Toronto for some conferences as well. I had the pleasure of this one speaker, and it really opened up my eyes. And that speaker was you, Ryan. I went to
Oh man.
your Be Relevant conference, and I didn't know you at that time. You didn't know me. I was just a person in the audience.
Mm.
And your ability to work magic on the phone led me to believe that there is definitely power in that. And that was about, I would say, about 6 to 7 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
And since then, training is a huge part of my daily and weekly schedule. It's something that I focus on, is that even when you're studying the MLS, you're looking at the past listed or solds, how are you honing your own craft? And I take pride in negotiating. A lot of people don't like that N word, but I love to negotiate.
Hmm.
I find that when when we're out there and we're advocating for our best interests, someone has to be protecting you.
Yeah.
Someone has to be looking out for you. And you can't always go to a seller and try to make a deal, because who's going to look out for you? And
Hmm.
this is where I come in, and I scrutinize the legal paperwork. I've been fortunate enough to be connected to so many lawyers that I went to high school with, that I can call up on the back of my hand and to talk about legal documents, to making sure that my clients are protected in this process, and to be connected to great individuals in the different finance in the different industries as well. All of this has led me to develop a cleaner, more polished product. So when my clients come to me, I can help them in any facet down the road.
Love it, man. You can tell, and I know this about you, but anybody that's watching will listen to this and watch this and say, well, there's somebody that is, truly invested in their clients, like more so than many. And we know that there's a lot of realtors in the entire industry.
Yeah,
But we talk about investing, in terms of your whole background, investing in your clients, which is an obvious. I just mentioned that. What do you do to invest in yourself? Like how do you keep the Rishi ship, alive and well? Because it's I know a big part of your own foundation, but maybe share that for the audience as well.
for sure. And I love how you mentioned, Ryan, is that clients in my eyes always come first. But before we have to take care of our clients, we do have to take care of ourselves. And the ways that I invest into myself, as I touched upon, is attending our I would say our monthly masterminds.
Mm,
That has that has something that has allowed us to connect with different professionals within the industry, but to also invest into myself. I've done some personal development and to making sure that I'm approaching every situation, but not like getting emotionally torn up.
mm,
And it takes some time to really trust the process, trust yourself, but also to trust that what you're putting into it, you'll get out of it. And the way that I'm saying this is that you never want to be into a situation where you're just where you're just caught off guard.
yeah.
So investing in yourself in a daily ritual, a daily morning routine, and a nightly routine pays off dividends because you as I've heard, you want to run your business the way that you want it to be. But in real estate, many people are playing catch up.
Mm.
Many people are lagging behind and they're just always at the mercy of what that market will bring them. I really wanted to insulate myself,
Hmm.
whether it's a down market or a hot market, there's wins always to be found, right? And if I invest in myself personally, I can have a good start to my day, I can have a good morning. I can I can pretty much predict what I'm going to be happening that day, regardless of what's happening in the world.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so you always have to be consistent and you always have to, I would say, focus on just not only like one thing, but there's like you have to focus on yourself, your body, your mind, but you also have to to take some time for yourself to making sure that you're not burning out, right? And it's finding that fine balance between the two that I'm really blessed and fortunate to be in real estate that way.
Sure. And it's not perfect by any means, right? I think that I just did a video
Yeah,
a little while ago on, time management is a myth because you have all these speakers that, talk about time management. And I think it's about the choices we make inside of our time. I think that, like you said, and somebody that's an operator like you, I am as well. Um, Real estate's unpredictable. And I think that's, some of those personal rituals, the things that we do, whatever it might be, for you or for me, I think they can be different, but, much the same.
yeah,
It lends well to insulating us from, the next circus that, pops up in our life or, with our clients or the market change. And I think that you really said it well about that insulation. It bulletproofs us from, being really, really at risk to, outside conditions.
for sure. And being in this real estate game, we are exposed to so many different variables that affect the end consumer's price point at the end of the
Hmm.
day. But it's to making sure that we understand what those variables are, how to navigate through them to always get to the finish line. And a part of my patience, I can lend a bit into it, is that I started to do Tai Chi a few years ago.
Cool.
And this ancient form has taught me so many things, Ryan, that I'm very grateful for it. And it's become a habit. Every morning without fail, spend 20, 30 minutes doing it. And it really allows you to take a step back and to, I would say, it, it would be able, it's kind of like an endorphin,
Hmm.
a rush you get afterwards. I just can't stop smiling. Just my days are absolutely beautiful, as you say. And Tai Chi is something that I have taken into, but also as you know, I'm heavy into sports.
Hmm.
That has taught me a lot as well. And I play a lot of team sports, and being in this type of environment, we're always working with many different people. So when I'm on the soccer field, I was a president of my soccer club at the University of Western Ontario, and I had over 100 members that all wanted to play soccer.
Mm.
And my goal as your president was to run, organize, and to set up tournaments for these over 100 members.
Cool.
And then we'd go in and do these intramurals. And all of this has taught me that you can go far alone, but you can go faster and quicker with with a right team.
I love it.
And that competitive edge I like have in sports, I also bring it to real estate too, because I want to win.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose.
Super, man. Super. That's great insight. And I'm a big believer in it too. I believe all of my sports background is transferred well into real estate, and for the art of war sometimes, and the battle and negotiation that you talk to as well. Yeah, Rishi, what is next for you in 2023 and beyond? Take us through what's coming up, and what you're looking forward to, what your audience can expect to see from you as well.
Thank you, Ryan. So 2023 has been off to a great start. We're about a quarter in, and I have some exciting stuff planned for the rest of the year here. I am working with local investors here for their income properties and for their investments that they wish to. I'd say people are a bit uncertain about what's happening in the market, and they're giving me a phone call and saying, "What should we do?" And I would say, the summer is going to be pretty busy. It's going to be pretty active because a lot of people that were sitting on the sidelines are now coming to play.
Hmm.
They're realizing that the market is where it's at, and it's going to be where it's at for some considerable time. So, in this next year of 2023, we uh, we have some events happening for our members in, in my sphere, in terms of I'm hosting some, I would say, some charity events as well, doing a golf tournament at the end of the summer.
Nice.
And I would also want to do some give back to some organizations here as well, in terms of more affordable housing. And
Mm.
that's something that we don't really talk about as realtors. We always talk about, oh, the next sale, the next, and like the next, I would say the next closing.
Yeah.
But we have to understand that as realtors or as professionals in this industry, we have a duty to the general public on affordable housing and this crisis that we're in that doesn't get talked about enough.
Hmm.
And I'm definitely invested in that as well, to talk to local organizations, to local groups, and to see on how we can help solve this problem that we're facing as well.
Super. Fantastic, man. I honor the connection. I'm super proud to work with you. I love seeing and hearing what you do, the energy that you bring to the table each and every day in all areas of your life and your business for your clients. And it's an honor to have had you on today. Everybody, Ryan Hodge here with Rishi, the 519 Realtor. Stay tuned for so much more from this fellow. The No Secret Agents podcast is brought to you by and powered by the Realty Firm. Our purpose is to continue to showcase a lot of our members who are doing these epic things inside of our local markets and beyond. And we look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Rishi, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Ryan. I do appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the next one.
We'll talk soon, everybody.